What's up, everybody? Today we are checking out the Boogie2988 documentary, The Dark, Sad Life of Boogie2988, today through the power of the internet. Now, I want to preference before we start watching this what a couple of things I found out about it, and then like my experience, I guess, with the Bogies, and that is I never really watched much of his content. Like, I've known of him. I have seen some of the Francis videos, and I think if you just be on YouTube, I think you learn about Boogie osmosisly, and that's kind of my case with Boogie. My kind of experience with the Boogster. He's somebody who's had a large presence on the internet that was very positive, then has turned very negatively. And for his content itself, it's just not really my thing. I didn't mind the Francis videos, but when it came to like just him talking, I just wasn't just not my cup of tea. You know what I mean? But he's went on this weird arc ever since his divorce, where he's become this lolcow, this person they just farm for trolling, and he's in this spiraling self-pity party. Now, I watch a lot of other channels that talk about Boogie, and so a lot of my knowledge of Boogie could be jaded or colored by that. Channels like Critical, or Penguin Zero Charlie, whatever you want to call him, Turkey Tom. There's other people who's made Boogie related content that made me more familiar with Boogie than otherwise I probably would have been. So when this documentary dropped, I've heard a lot of good things about it, but something I've heard about it is that there's a lot of misinformation in this documentary. I've heard there's actually like quite a bit of misinformation in this documentary, so that was kind of surprising to hear. So we'll see about that. I guess some of the numbers have been inflated. It sounds like Boogie is kind of saying that the director Mike Clum inflated numbers. So I don't know what the case here is. I really don't. But that's kind of weird. What I mean by numbers is they go over like his bank statement, because something Boogie's been doing is basically e-begging, of being like, guys, I'm gonna lose my house. Can you, hey man, can you like dig deep in your pocket? Because even though I lost six figures in the crypto market, you know what I mean? It's like one of those things. So yeah, as for like, I wish I knew it was so squeaky on this boom arm. I think it's that one up there. Anyway, that's not the point. The point is, is I don't have the most experience of Boogie, but I do know quite a bit about him just because of other channels covering his rise and downfall, if you will, of the Boogster. So I'm excited to start this. It's 55 minutes and 16 seconds, not a very long documentary, but I feel like this might surprise some good discussion. This is available on YouTube if you want to watch it. You may be asking yourself, well, why aren't you doing like a reaction kind of thing and playing the video along with you? And that's because while streaming it, I want to get on my high horse here for a second. That's because while streaming it, even if I did pause it, I would have to show the entire thing in its entirety. And I'm not really a fan of that, because to me, even if I'm pausing it to put in creative criticism, I don't know how transformative that is. And it's something I would have to look deeper into. Now, maybe when we get done and we do our post discussion, I can go back, pull up the screen, and kind of show clips that way, because then I'll have constructive criticism. But I figured we'll do a standard watch along like I normally do with the timer, so you can sync up to me, and then maybe we'll figure something out in the end. If that sounds cool to you. Let's start this thing in 3, 2, 1, go. What's cool about this so far is this feels very this does feel very this is the movie, right? Not a trailer? Okay. The intro is very trailer-esque. But what I was gonna say is this feels like a production. This film documents the life of Boogie2988 following his downfall from internet fame. From a period of 9 months, having exclusive access to his day-to-day schedule, personal contacts, and financial statements. Topics explored in this film could be upsetting to some viewers. Why is the film opening on him in a bubble bath? Like, that's weird, right? 600,000 he lost in crypto. What? Well, that's not bad. He only has $600 on a credit card? That's not bad. Well, 700 if you want to round up. Your net worth is not zero, Boogie. He has 30,000 in crypto though right now. I have a huge, despite a gastric bypass, Boogie continues to struggle with his weight. I have a huge issue with his. First off, man, clean that shower door. Holy shit, it's dirty. But I have a huge issue with this. Attempting to save 20,000 and remove excess skin. Oh God, he's showing his meat apron. Oh, I didn't need to see this. I don't like showing to people. Flashes that out on camera immediately. Okay, but no, to go back to the finance, maybe I just need to save this for the end. I have a huge issue with his I have zero money thing. Yeah, Boogie's one of the OG YouTubers. I do know that. God, that's a huge fucking house. His little little set is in like disarray. Shit's falling off the wall and stuff. A 30-day finances income. Holy smokes. Income is $5,742. Expenses is $7,800. You need to change your life, bruh. Then send it back. I don't know how much time I'm gonna get actually like put in commentary because man, this is really fast moving. Really fast moving. He's kind of pissing me off already. I'm not gonna lie. Boogie's kind of pissing me off right now. So we're gonna get into his hooker addiction. Between 2018 and 2021, Boogie spent over $200,000 on sex workers. One of his escorts agreed to do an anonymous interview. $40,000 a year on hookers. He got me some gift cards, $500 in gift cards, $1,000 purse, hotel rooms, dinner. I've heard this clip already. He dated Arkansas 8s, but he wanted LA 10s. So he used sugar sites to find LA 10s. And this is really fast paced. The income helped them fund her nursing degree. That's crazy. But it's funny. She's like, me escorting with Boogie is the reason I got out of sex work. It's like, oh God, what happened? That's when I knew I was at my bottom. I just like he's never been with a beautiful woman. Like, what does his ex-wife think? Like, well, fuck me, I guess. I don't know how their divorce went down. There might be some bitterness there, I'm sure. What are you talking about, Boogie? This girl's cute. She's a little thicker than I normally go after. You are the thickest. I love the fact he's talking about how he loves beautiful women, that he deserves beautiful women, and he's saying that while sitting at a Magic the Gathering playmat. But I also love he's like, all this money I spent on these hookers is like my health insurance payment. And it's like, him making me Boogie is selling his possessions. Probably should. He made almost $3,000 on YouTube. I'm not gonna lie, he's really pissing me the fuck off with this. When Boogie is facing bankruptcy in 6 months. Clearly, he's not filed for bankruptcy yet. Oh my God, he is so frustrating. Magic event 30. What magic event's $30? What is that, pre-release? Oh, it is pre-release. Okay. What set was that? Go back to that. He's like, nerd, I know, right? Okay, so I have some issues with this. One, he made $400 stone cards. Is it just a loyalty thing? What Taco Bell did he go to that was $14.95 for 3 chicken quesadillas? Is that how much chicken quesadillas are? I thought chicken quesadillas were a lot more expensive than that. Also, 3 chicken quesadillas is not a lot of food from Taco Bell. Them things are skinny as, you know what I mean? I won't want up arcade machines. I feel like this is going to be a long conversation after this. I have so much I want to say, but the documentary is moving so quickly and moving from topic to topic so fast. I don't have a time to like react and actually talk about stuff. But this is going to be the afternoon, ain't it? Boogie has a Pac-Man tattoo? I didn't know that. God damn it. Everything he does. I'm just frustrated. This is so frustrating. That was a topic they weren't expecting. He's like talking to his friends like, well, we gonna bring girls over that aren't hookers, and they show his friends. His friends are like, I don't want this on the internet. Some of them look like hookers. What are you talking about? I saw some of their friends look like, and then he's like, we haven't dated in a while. You haven't dated in a while, and the guy's like, I know. Just threw his friends under the fucking bus. I have an issue. If you spent all this money to be flat, wait, what? Oh, it must be like an extended table. Never mind, I take it back. Like he's like showing people at the table, and they're like at like one of those like white fold-out tables. But I guess they do have a what? We cut to. So I was saying they have the fold-up table. You know what I mean? So it must have been like extra room because he did have a real table. Because I was like thinking, it's like, why don't you have like a real table with all the other stuff you buy? But I like it immediately cuts to like Boogie's like You know, the N word is just a word, and it's just like you're right. It is just a word. However, there is a lot of quite a few amounts of history and context. So all the Frank Castle thing, I do remember this happening. This was like I hated this whole incident on both sides, from the Frank Castle side and the Boogie side. I have like no time to talk about anything because man, it just bounces so quickly. It's really good editing. It's really good editing. I don't know if that comes across as like abuses wife, supported child abusers, had a attraction to minors, mocked racial minorities, lied about mental. It's too a lot of stuff there he's being said, being blamed for. See, I hate that. We'll talk about. We're just gonna have to go through this one by one after this is over. There's just too much stuff. There's just too much stuff to talk about. Arcade visit $5. That's not bad. That's not bad. $5 for an arcade visit. That's pretty good. It's cool you have an old arcade like that though, because all the arcades we would have is like the redemption game arcades rather than actually just having like arcade cabinets. Pac-Man's boring, man. Go play Galaga like a real person, like a real man. Oh, walking to the bathroom. Boogie sprained his ankle. You gotta admit, Boogie's like what, 50 or something. He doesn't look 50. You know, I'll give him credit there. Yeah, he's unhealthy, but he doesn't look his age. He's like 50, right? How old is Boogie? He doesn't look 50 to me. Born in 74. He's 49. Like, if he would dye his beard, medical diagnosis, I feel like sleeping with a sleep apnea machine would be so hard. A lot of health problems. Yeah, but a little off focus there, Mike. Oh, there you go. There you go. I'm gonna have to just go back and like do this. Halfway through the documentary production, I decided to take a break. Okay, I'm sorry. This is funny. It's just like in the middle, it's like I have to take a break from this documentary because everything is so sad. He's such a sad sack. He's like, I have to divorce. Dude, I'm telling you, everything went downhill with Boogie with his divorce, I'm pretty sure. I invited a mental health counselor, a comedian, and a YouTube consultant to assist in analyzing Boogie's downfall. Yeah. I like this section of the documentary because it's really showing. It basically really shows why people don't like Boogie now. It shows why like Boogie's past attitude with his new attitude. Oh, this is gonna be a long discussion after this movie. I legitimately have a lot to say. Parametabile rise causing an insufficient balance. That's a little bit of like I've watched a Boogie in this like Boogie heel arc is yeah, he does like to have this like pity party around him. It's not a covert narcissism, essentially worms their way into your heart. They do this with tales of misfortune and woe. He's an undercover narcissist. Watch out, folks. The one YouTube analyst guy is like, I think you got to quit YouTube and get a job. And he's like, I don't know, maybe GameStop. But let's be honest, Boogie would thrive probably working at GameStop. I thought he has a Tesla. It's just like a Toyota Camaro. I mean, a Camry or whatever they're called. Corolla, I don't know. Or is it a Prius? I don't know. It's a reasonable car. That's the point I'm getting at. I mean, Toyota's a little pricey, but like it's a reasonable car. I thought he had a Tesla at one point. Because that was one of his e-begging things was for, I bought a car I can't afford. She's calling him out on his shit. That's hilarious. He's at like this mock interview for those not like watching the documentary. So that's kind of funny. That's pretty funny. He's like, I used to work in porn. And she's like, really? You think that's worth bringing up? And he's like, I mean, it depends on the job. That's rough. He basically just said, hey man, I have 4 million subs on YouTube, dog. I'm not going to work these peasant jobs. Net worth negative 6,702, down 50,000 subs. Oh yeah, there's his girlfriend. This is weird. So if you don't know about this was a thing I heard about just, is it the official podcast maybe? But basically, he is dating this girl who is like 19 or 20, and he's 49. She's 20 years old. Okay. Boogie's 49. They're both consenting adults. That's fine. But it's still a little bizarre. But are you an LA 10 girl? That's the question. Because he deserves LA 10s. There's your aspiration, folks. just reach out to your favorite YouTuber and it might work out. Because she's like, I just reached out to Boogie and was like, hey, I love your content. And he's like, what's up, girl? Slide into these DMs. I mean to brag or anything, but I'm LA 2, but I'm Ohio 6.5. Shut up, Autumn. You're my LA 10. There's no Ohio 10. It's Sasquatch. That's the LA 10. This is cringe. This is cringe. Ah, there it is. She grew up without a father figure. So wait, are you telling me because you grew up without a father figure and I grew up without a father figure that I could reach out to a failing YouTuber and get with them? Is that what you're saying right now? Des moved in after 3 months of dating. It's unreasonable. She does like all the cleaning. I like how she's doing, like she's out here mowing the grass and stuff, and it's like you can tell it's not been mowed in a while. It's not been mowed in a hot second. So the creepy part, it's not dating someone half your age or younger, as long as that half your age is of consenting adult age. It'd be creepy if I dated someone half my age, but when you're 50, it's a little bit of a different story. So the creepy part is I don't understand what about Boogie. They're like playing in the bath together, fully bathtubbed. I guess not. But anyway, what I was gonna say is date night at a comedy show. Boogie, don't sit in the front row. He's getting called out in a comedy show about it. So where was I even? There's so much going on. I'm like losing my train of thought even. Oh yeah, the creepy part. The creepy part isn't the age gap necessarily. The creepy part is you don't bring anything to the table to justify it, I guess. I don't know. I guess if you get along with each other, you get along with each other. This is going to be so... I have so much to say about this. It's crazy. This is a crazy story. Also, I really like this like choiry rendition of Creep in the background. It's really cool. Dude, I'm just like, you can just see in his house. Excuse me. God, you can just tell in her eyes. She's like, that sounds awful. I guess he's got some roommate named Chad. And he's like, what if we lose his house and we got to go live in a small apartment? Me, you, and Chad eating McDonald's every day. And she's just like, I guess if it's me, you, and Chad eat McDonald's every day in our cute little apartment. He's like talking to her, basically like doom spiraling to her. And she's like, there's something wrong with this girl. No offense. Because like her face, like her, but like, yeah, I don't know. There's something in her eye, man. That's just like, what's up, Kami? I know I'm saying that wrong. Yeah, no. Kami? Konami? There we go. What's up? Yeah, there's like something in her eye that's like, I don't know, something's off there. I feel like I'm pretty good at like figuring out psychopaths. I'm not saying she's a psychopath, but like, he's like sitting here just being like, hey, I know you're with me and like we're having fun, but like, you know, just so you know, like, I'm probably going to die in the next couple of years. You still can. Oh my God. This is frustrating. I've been pretty good. How about yourself? Been pretty good. Been busy. Really busy, but been pretty good. Hope you're doing well as well. Oh my God. This is frustrating. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how to fix myself. I'll tell you after this is over. Boogie receives an unexpected call. Oh shit. We're going to get into the boxing stuff. Cool. Travel from Hiroshima to Osaka. I'll be in Kyoto soon. Nice. I want to visit Japan. I've always wanted to visit Japan. Japan, Ireland, and Iceland are like 3 places I really would like to visit in my lifetime. The stage was set for Boogie's comeback. Yeah, really. I've heard Wings have kind of turned around the boxing, like turned his career around a little bit in the boxing after boxing. Not super familiar with Wings either. Just like some of these like low-cal figures, just by some of the channels I watch, I'm kind of like familiar with. Got $10,000 for a boxing match? Holy smokes. $2,000 in meals? What? Hotel was almost $2,000? What? Yes, I want to see your monthly bills, Boogie. Health insurance $800, sure. Probably close to $500 in utilities. That kind of makes sense. Your car payment's only so you must got rid of the Tesla. What? What? He just spent like $400 on video games. This is something else. Oh man, this is something else. I do like the just drinking Mountain Dew outside, like it's like a nice ice cold beer. Going out on the patio to smoke a ciggy. He's like, oh, that Mountain Dew, nice crisp. I'm legitimately curious how big was Boogie at his heaviest. We arranged a psychedelic ceremony conducted by a local shaman. What? So they're giving Boogie psychedelics. I've heard shrooms taste terrible. Never had them, never tried them, but I've heard they taste awful. It's like 15 minutes later, and he's like, "This section's weird." Feels completely out of left field. He just started having a conversation in his own. He's like tripped out so much, he just started having a conversation in his own like little circle, his little head. Like, this is the first time I felt happiness, and it's just like, yeah, everybody else in his life's like, oh, thanks, man. God, I thought that was my phone. That's the same alarm I use for my phone in the morning. First thing he does is grab a Diet Mountain Dew, a Mountain Dew Zero Sugar, I mean. Wakes up and he's like, oh, I gotta get that swig of that swill. Oh, I couldn't imagine. Just a overnight room temp, open, flat Mountain Dew Zero Sugar first thing in the morning. Ugh. I like how he's... I like the... He's went down the, I did psychedelics now, my entire life has changed. I had the ego death, I'm this new person, and all this stuff. I've never done psychedelics, but I highly doubt they're that life-changing. Just saying. I like how he's like, oh, I did mushrooms, and I'm going to feel better about making YouTube videos and doing live streaming and stuff again. Everybody does fall off at some point, or, or they hit a saturation point. Like, I think I'm probably already close to my saturation point, but like, you had a much different drop off. Boogie still broke. His subscribers are still down. All right, well, that was the documentary. Really good. Hats off to you, Mike. It's still technically going. Considered one of the great original YouTubers. He remains a felon in the state. Yeah. What did it say about Mike? Inspired by Sunny V2? That's interesting. Boogie was not compensated for his participation in this film, and Mike was definitely not paid for this production. All right, so before we talk about individual points of this documentary, I just want to talk about the documentary itself. First off, it's incredibly well made. It's very, very well made. When it comes to like film and documentaries, there's like genres within the genre, right? There's like different stylings, different ways you can approach telling a story, different formats and things you do things. And when you think of YouTube documentaries, I think a lot of stuff in the line of like Turkey Tom's documentaries, even, I don't know if you count Sunny V2, but maybe Sunny V2. Gino Samuel is another one who does the Chris Chan series. There's like this, the styling is very much pulling images and footage through fair use from other sources, and then adding a narration over top of the entire thing. Like, if Turkey Tom's like recent DSP documentary, he didn't go hang out with DSP. You know what I mean? He compiled DSP's information, wrote a narrative, constructed it based off of that, pulling clips and everything like that. Where this guy went and followed Boogie for 9 months on and off, right? So there's like a different styling to it. So when you see some of these documentaries, those are the kind of different stylings you can see. Is like, you have the people who go out and film a subject, and that's the narrative of the documentary. It's a little bit more on the, I would say, maybe traditionalist side of documentaries. And it's really cool. It's really cool to see a documentary. It's really cool to see a documentary like that being done and just being released on YouTube. Really well shot. It looks great. It looks like a high-end documentary. It really does. So hats off to Mike Clum on that one. I don't know how much misinformation is here, but that was also frustrating. Boogie is the kind of person I probably couldn't spend more than an hour with, because I'm not a big fan of pity parties, and I'm not a big fan of this whole thing. Boogie's entire character arc is, woe is me, pity is me, I have all these problems, I know what these problems are, but I don't know how to fix it. I need somebody to fix me. And it is something else. It is something else. when it comes to it. His downfall, in my opinion, is, especially from this documentary, is he ended up becoming somebody else that people weren't originally subscribed to. You know, he was like the nice, like what they used to call him, like the Mr. Rogers of the internet or something. But Mr. Rogers didn't go pay hookers and didn't start doing dark jokes and stuff. And like that's the persona you sold people. So when you made this change, which I remember with Boogie, like I said, I'm not super familiar with his content, but I do remember everybody loved him as like the nice guy of the internet, right? And then it was like somewhere around when H3 started their podcast, I listened to a couple episodes. One of them was Boogie, and I didn't listen to it, but I've seen clips of it where he's talking about getting hookers and stuff like that. Or I don't even know if it was hookers, maybe it was just like doing like sugar daddy stuff. And some of the stuff he was saying was like what I had perceived, I guess, of what Boogie was. And then hearing that, it'd just be like, what? Which all started happening because, you know, when you have these locales or political figures in the sphere, I spend a lot of time on YouTube. It's probably my favorite platform on the internet. So I watch a lot of content, and you're just kind of privy to people that are big on the site. You know what I mean? Regardless if you watch their content or not, you're kind of just privy to them through osmosis of the culture that is YouTube. And I knew he's going through a divorce, and it just seemed like he went through this like character arc with the divorce, and people are like, nope. And then I think it's a snowball effect. I think it's like a snowball effect where people started off for one thing, you turn into another thing, and then that gains momentum because that becomes the new narrative, and it's a much harder hill to climb back up. You know what I mean? When you're snowballing down it. So yeah, good documentary. I got a lot to talk about though, so I'm going to do this real quick. Let's pull this up. Why is this like, it's like mouse cord was getting caught on something. Okay, so I want to start, let me turn this down a little bit. So first off, let's talk about his that's a good amount of money. All right, like that is a good amount of money. It's almost $3,000. He owes 163 on his house, 163,000 on his house, and only like 650. We'll round it down for him, like 650. I don't know what the CD is. I don't know what CDs are. I'm not good with finances. I'm not good with finances in the sense like I don't know this kind of stuff. Like I'm good at getting my bills paid and like, you know what I mean? That kind of thing. But like, yeah, I don't know like about like savings accounts and stuff like that. I don't do any of that stuff. Maybe I should. Maybe I should look into it. If I was making money like he was at one point, If I was making money like he was at one point, I totally would. But like that's pretty good money. And then he says he's got 30,000 in crypto right now, right? And he has like close to 30,000 in collectibles. So this net worth thing, assets 165,000, liabilities 165,700. Why is that? All credit card and home debt. He's got more assets than that, right? Like Boogie's channel has a net worth of its own, being a 4 million sub. A CD is like an account that holds money and makes percentage back for you, I think. I think that's what it is too. Not my world, I guess. Home equity is 105,000 in home equity. So, according to this, he owes 165, has 105 in equity. So we're saying his house is only $210,000 house? No, $270,000 house. I don't know what houses go for in Arkansas, but they don't seem quite right when you look at his house. Maybe, but I don't believe you can access the CD for a specific amount of time. I don't know. All right, so there's that. I want to talk about the finances first, because this is the part that drove me the most insane. $2,950 on YouTube, and he can't live off that. That's bullshit. Also, how can he not get a well, I guess his viewership's down, right? And I will say this, trolls bombarding, I don't know if he's done I'm going to say this. I don't know if Boogie has done anything specifically awful. Like, I don't know if he's done any kind of a lot of the cancelable stuff, right? Like I don't know if he's ever beat his wife or groomed or anything like that. You know what I mean? I don't know if he's done any of that. I was gonna say I don't think he's done that, but I don't know. I don't think he's been known to do that. So even if he is on this like sad wagon wheel, like for people to go out and bombard sponsors to drop him is really fucked up. Because I don't think from my understanding, my limited knowledge of Boogie, I don't think he's done anything to warrant that kind of thing. When people like Chris D'Elia still has a platform, you know what I mean? Like, that's ridiculous. That is ridiculous to me. And that level of trolling is just bullshit because you're messing with somebody's livelihood. Maybe they'll go into it here in a second. I want to, before I go more into it, I want to find the part where they're talking about trolls. Okay, hold on. Here's the controversy part. This part's funny. That is wild to me. That is so wild to me. He's wrong and not wrong at the same time. It is just a word at the end of the day. It is a sound we make with our mouth, and we define meaning to it. However, that meaning is powerful in its own. So, you know what I mean? It's like, yes, it's just a word. Yes, if you were to say it behind closed doors around a group of people who are probably like-minded, not saying his friends are, but I'm just saying if you were to say it in a room of people, in a room of people that were like-minded, it wouldn't have a lot of power. However, it still has a lot of power, and for that, probably just shouldn't bother with it. Dark humor, okay. Dark humor is fine. I also love dark humor. But there is certain ways dark humor works, and the stuff I think he says up here, it just doesn't work. I gotta watch this part again. It is and it isn't. Like, you can joke about anything. I do believe in that, but it is going to turn people off. And I think you have to have a point with it. And it actually has to be funny. And I'm not saying you have to make some kind of political statement with it or something like that. But one, it has to be funny. But then two is like, there's definitely a line you toe with that kind of stuff where it's no longer a joke. And some of these clips, I'm not entirely sure. See, so mocking the death of his deceased girlfriend. I'm still alive, she's dead, so yeah. Or whatever. Like this doesn't come from a joke. This comes from a like mean malice kind of thing that you're disguising as a joke. I think I'm a minority fan for a donation. Yeah, again, like, it feels like an attempt at dark humor, at edgy humor, and it just isn't. Yeah, again, there's a huge difference between a joke like this and most of what Doug Stanhope says. You know what I mean? This isn't really like, this is obviously trying to be a joke, but it doesn't come from a place of making a point. It doesn't come from a place of anything but just trying to say something really edgy, which is why it misses its mark and it just comes around as just gross. This is just dumb. This whole situation is so dumb. I've heard about this situation. I remember when this was like news. This guy, Frank Hassel, and Boogie got into it online. Frank Hassel showed up to Boogie's house to hassle, and Boogie came out with a gun, and then just, Boogie lives in a suburban. Where's the aerial shot of his place? I want to, can I, no? Am I not going to be able to, are you not going to show me where that's at? I didn't want to click there. Oh, where's it at? Oh, I didn't click there either. I wish YouTube had like frame scrolling, like frame scrubbing. Yeah, okay, here. So that door right there is where he shot up into the air. Does that side lead to woods? I don't think it does, because you've seen videos where he's smashing stuff in his driveway. So he's shooting toward houses. Also, I love the fact that he's basically like, hey man, you show up to my house, I'm gonna kill you, bud. And the guy's like, do it. And he shows up at the guy's house, and it's like, all right, where am I at here? It's all his health problems. There we go. He shows up at his house. It was an ordeal where I think both parties were severely in the wrong. Boogie's in the wrong for one, firing a warning shot. You never do that. Two, especially when it's up in the air, because when you fire up in the air like that, it's got to come down somewhere. You're putting people at danger for no reason. Then on top of that is the other guy. Don't show up at people's houses being an aggregate, but also an agitator. Also, Boogie, don't threaten to shoot people before they even come to your house. You know what I mean? Where it really went. And this whole standoff is so dumb because he's like, am I going to have to shoot you? And the guy's just like, do it. This is the part I wanted to talk about. All right. Abused his wife, supported child abusers, had attraction to minors, mocked racial minorities, lied about mental health diagnosis, claimed good things came from the Holocaust. Whoa. Threatened to kill his own dog. Hey. Used his friend's death to promote his new channel. Don't know anything about that. Made fun of a child having divorced parents. Okay. Threatened suicide to guilt fans and support. Faked harassment emails to gain sympathy. Flirted with his friend's widow after his death. misused Patreon funds on personal toys, manipulated his sugar babies and girlfriends, lied about weight loss progression to gain support, blamed his audience for not meeting New Year's resolutions. Okay, so again, this boils down to like, you have this mega thread thing, right? And I don't know enough about Boogie if a lot of these accusations are accurate. I mean, it's a long list of stuff, and a lot of it is pretty damning, but I don't know if any of it's true. I don't know enough about Boogie to say if it's true or not. But I also feel like, you know, to bombard his like sponsors like that is kind of fucked. I gotta admit that. Like, I don't agree with that. You know what I mean? I don't feel like it's on the onus of people to contact sponsors of people and be like, hey, these people suck, this is why, because it's those sponsors' choice to sponsor that person. So in my opinion, it's like, yeah, you're kind of taking the money from them, but like, if a company's willing to support somebody who is awful, you don't support the company anymore. Now I want to get back into the finance part of this. Where's the part where he goes to Magic Store to sell cards? Annual income you've seen is tick down real quick. What is Boogie's like recent what's his like recent thing? Like, what's his recent channel looking like? They're gonna 4.02 and 14k, 23k, 40k, 32k, 52k, 71k, 82, 68. I'm scared. Yeah, it's definitely not a good video for you. What's he talking about? His videos can't even pull 10k. I haven't seen a single video under 10k. The fuck is he talking about? These videos are doing well. Let me pull up Social Blade real quick. Social Blade obviously isn't like insanely accurate or anything for like YouTube statistics or anything, but estimated 373, whatever. Let's look at the numbers. The dude's getting like, I wonder what happened here. Did he delete some videos? The dude is getting like 100,000 views a day. Like, that's pretty good. Like, how bad is your ad rev? And then does he not have a Patreon? He has to have a Patreon, right? He has a Twitch. Ooh, negative 10k. He has a Twitch. He's got 1.4 million views in the last 30 days. There's no way his annual income is only $26,000. There's zero shot, unless that means it's like how much he brings home after all bills and expenses are taken out. But like, okay, moving on to the finances. We want to look at more of the financiers stuff. Past 90 days. Where's where he says he needs $7,000 a month to live? Here we go. Might I add you, he's saying this with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, at least 5. Sorry, 6. Apparently I can't count. 6 1-up arcade machines behind him. I understand 1-up arcade machines are cheaper than just regular arcade machines, but like, and they're all turned on. It's probably just for the shot. I would hope he doesn't leave them on all the time. Let's go through this. First off, $10,000 for a boxing match. For like $10,000 paycheck for one day is insane. I would do a boxing match for $10,000. All right, show me this. All right, $12.50 for a flight. First off, why isn't the promotion paying for your flight? Your promotion, I feel like, should pay for travel. Maybe they don't. You know, when I did lighting gigs, I didn't get, well, actually, we did get paid for our travel. So no, you should be paid for the travel. I worked contracted under the person who got the gigs. He would get paid for travel. He could turn travel in. So yeah, what? So I feel like you should get paid for a flight. The flight seems reasonable. $1,500 for boxing lessons. First off, the promotion should pay for that. If you're a boxing promotion doing YouTuber, like creator boxing, they should pay for the boxing lessons because those people don't have previous experience. It's different than a professional boxer. I still feel like if you run a sport, I don't know what boxing leagues are, but like UFC should pay their fighters for lessons to keep trained because better fights generates more money. It would just be a business expense, in my opinion. That's my opinion. Could be wrong. It's my opinion. But if you're doing creators boxing, you 100% should have to pay for boxing lessons. 100%. Because these people probably have never boxed a day in their life. Then you can also guarantee they get roughly around the same amount of training. So you don't have one person, which I understand if you go, you know, one person like decided to take it seriously and the other didn't, fine. But like, you should still basically pay for them to get boxing lessons because you're having somebody come into something they're not used to. So they should get trained for that. Physical therapy, not sure why that's considered a boxing match expense. I would assume probably afterwards he had to do some physical therapy from injury, maybe. Not really sure. Is physical therapy really $2,000? Could you not have insurance help cover some of that? You're paying a lot for insurance a month. You know what I mean? So that's something that seems weird. MRIs. Why'd you have MRIs? Maybe you got to do like a pre-match MRI to pass like health weight. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yes, if he gets punched in the head, he's not going to immediately die, which again feels like it should be covered by the promotion. If you have to meet certain, again, it's different than a boxing, but for me, yeah, you could also just be the wear and tear of training on his body for upkeep PT, not recovery PT. Yeah, that's true. Insurance doesn't typically cover much. Yeah, I didn't think about that. You're probably right. It could very much be the wear and tear physical therapy. So, all right, I'll give him that one. MRI, I don't know why you have the MRIs. If you have to have the MRI for like pre or post match, I feel like the event should cover that. You know what I mean? That's my opinion. Meals, $2,000 for meals. $2,000 for meals. I want to repeat that. $2,000 for meals. I got to know the context. Is that in just the event for boxing, which I'm going to assume it is because flights, maybe, or is that meals ever since he signed the contract and started training? Like what does this mean? But also $2,000 on meals. My guess is he went on some kind of diet that requires special expensive foods. I'm going to say probably not. We can give him the benefit of the doubt, but I feel like he probably, just while he was traveling, went, because his hotel bill is $1,700, I feel like he went to like high-end restaurants. That's what I feel like, which is on him. I could live off of $2,000 for a meal budget for a while. Me and my wife both could for a while. $2,000 on just meals. That's a lot. That is a lot. Hotel $1,750. I feel like, I don't know where this fight took place, but that seems really expensive. He probably went and stayed at some kind of higher end hotel. If he did that, that's on him. Again, I feel like the boxing promotion should paid for your hotel expense. You know what I mean? It's my opinion. I definitely would never be asked to do creator boxing because I don't have the audience. But if I did, I'd be like, no, you're paying for this shit. You're paying for the flights. You're paying for the hotel room. That's my contract. Gloves and wraps, $150. So that's probably not too far off for a good pair of boxing gloves. Boxing shorts, $350. Again, probably not too bad. I think the promotion should like reimburse you for that. But I also get where you can get customizable things. So these two, I'm kind of okay with the person paying for them. But the hotel and the boxing lessons, 100, and even the flights should 100% be paid by the promotion. So, wonder if Keemstar said anything about this, because Keemstar is the one that did the boxing match. So I wonder if he said anything about this. $2,000 on the meal though is inexcusable. It is inexcusable. And I also, the physical therapy and the MRIs, I don't understand what's happening here either. Would like a little bit more context there. Let's continue. That might be one of the most annoying statements. She can't help pay a $2,200 mortgage. First off, what does she do for work? You know? What does she do for work? Well, let's get into this real quick. Yes, let's do this, Boogie. Because this is, the financial aspect of Boogie is probably the most frustrating part of this entire documentary. And after we go through it, I'll explain why this is so frustrating to me. I'll wait for him to finish. Oh, what happened? All right, we'll stop it there. $70 for Hulu? What? That seems off. So, again, I have heard that these numbers may not be accurate. I don't know what the truth is with these numbers. We don't know. I feel like Boogie's finances are a little wonky. So let's look at this right here. Health insurance, $800. If he's on private, health insurance is probably not too far off. My thing is he has disability. I don't know about Arkansas's disabilities. I'm not even too sure about Ohio's disabilities. But I feel like if you have a disability, could you not get some kind of Medicare, Medicaid kind of thing? But then again, he also might be in the bracket where he makes too much on YouTube to qualify for that. So maybe that, you know, if you have to have private insurance, it's expensive. I'm a proprietor that we pay enough in fucking taxes that insurance should be free. Healthcare is a human right. We shouldn't have to pay a penny out of pocket for anything that isn't, you know what, anything. I mean, plastic surgery, that can get into a gray area. Some of it's necessary, some of it's not. But I think for the most part, everything health related should be covered through taxes. It's my opinion. But $800 in insurance. I know I don't have a ton of history with private insurance other than my grandpa having it before he was able to get on for his old age, Medicare or whatever. And I think he was around like, this would have been like almost 10, 15 years ago. But I think he was around $600 or $700 a month for insurance. So that doesn't seem super duper far off. But does his wife not have a job? Like, I guess they're not married, but does his girlfriend not have a job? Like, you know what I mean? This is something where if he did get married, this would help because maybe he can get on their insurance. Although he's got so much health problems too that I feel like, and like I said, I could be wrong on what my grandpa was paying for health insurance. I think that's what it was. But he could be in a situation too where because of all of his medical history, the fact that he is obese and has all these problems because of obesity, that his insurance is way higher because he's a health risk, I guess, which is another crazy thing, that they can charge you more if they think you're going to use it more. Medical bills, $500. Is he paying $500 a month for medical bills? Does that include like medication? Because we know he's on like a baggie of medication. Is that maybe like medication? So I'm curious to what this medical bills is. Utility, $500. I'm curious. No, internet's not included. $250 for internet? Damn. So yeah, utilities. If the internet's not included in that utilities, he's got a really big house, so probably a lot of it is electric. I don't know if his heat and air is electric. I also don't know what the weather in Arkansas is like. Never been there. But like, I'm thinking about our utilities that we pay, including like trash. And he also probably has an HOA. He's probably in a homeowners association area, I would assume. So that utility doesn't seem that far off for the house. Doctor's visits, $750. What is happening with doctor's visits where you are paying $750 supposed... Oh, damn it. It's hard to catch it. It goes by so quick. Hold on. Oh, come on. I just missed it. Dude, how did I get that right the first time? Dude, how did I nail that the first time and now I can't get it? I screwed it up. Got it. Ooh. You got to get it when Netflix pops up. All right. Yeah, so is he paying $750 for doctor visits a month? That seems highly unlikely. I don't feel like that's a monthly average. That's weird. Physical therapy, $950. Makes sense. He's not in good shape. Also, I feel like you could probably do a lot of physical therapy at home that he probably needs to do on a regular basis. Labs, he's paying $325 a month in labs. Like some of these, I'm like, are they even monthly? Like, are they even monthly things? Oh, I realize I'm covering it up. Didn't someone say so? Yeah, I'm like, oh, it doesn't even matter because Hulu's. So yeah, it's like, are those even monthly things? You know what I mean? Car payment, $210. That's not bad for a car payment. My guess is he sold his Tesla. I know he had a Tesla at some point. It looks like he's driving some kind of Toyota. $210 for a car payment's really not bad. Car insurance, $95 seems kind of high for car insurance, but it's not horrendous either. Probably has full coverage. If he has a car payment, probably has to have full coverage. I'm going to skip these for now because these are egregious. Mortgage, $2,000. I'm going to come back to that. Groceries, $800. You got to eat less, my guy. Internet, $250. Your internet provider, that is crazy expensive. I assume he's probably paying for the highest tier internet, which makes sense. But our internet's half that, and we do everything we need to do that he probably does. So I don't think he needs to be paying that much for internet. Dates, I don't know if this is referring to $750 in dates. I don't know what that means, but knock it off if that's the case. Gas, $300. That can't, I'm pretty sure you're driving a hybrid, my guy. You know what I mean? I feel like that's outrageous. I don't know how much he's driving. I don't know how much he has to travel. Maybe he's got to travel a lot to doctors. Maybe he's got to drive kind of far for doctors. But I think one of the excuses he made for keeping the house, because I heard a clip of him talking to is that Mudahar or somebody about why he wants to keep the house because it's close to his doctors. So don't know why you're paying $300 in gas. That's a lot. Clothes, $150. You don't have to buy clothes every month, so I don't know why that's included. Netflix, $15. Why is Hulu $70? I don't understand Hulu $70 unless he did some kind of Hulu bundle that's like bundled with a bunch of other streaming services. I don't know why Hulu's included in there. But didn't he also say at one point he don't have Netflix and stuff? Bullshit. I call bullshit on that. I called bullshit on that. Listen to this again. I turn it up. Apparently my volume is too low.
You take it out. All I eat is sandwiches every day. All I do is sit here. I don't pay for any Netflix subscriptions. All I pay for is internet, utilities, medical bills, mortgage. If I pay for just that, I need $7,000 a month.
Bullshit. That's bullshit. That is such bullshit. Like, I am married, and not to talk finances, but like, we don't pull in that kind of money, and we're fine. Like, that's bullshit. That's such bullshit. You do not need $7,000 a month. The only thing that could potentially justify him needing that much money a month is taking taxes into consideration. He is self-employed. He is probably in a different tax bracket. He probably gets taxed quite a bit. So you would have to make quite a bit. Like, if I wanted to do YouTube full time, which would be nice, if I wanted to, I would have to be, for me to comfortably be like, I'm going to do it, I would want to be making double what I'm making currently right now full time because of taxes. And then everything else that you don't pay on taxes, you can save. So that's, you know what I mean? But like, $2,000 a month on a mortgage is a lot, quite a bit. I don't know much about Arkansas, what Arkansas life is like. I can only speak from my terms and where I live. And I live in a lower income area. You know, our property values aren't as high as some other places. But he owes $163,000 on his house. And I feel like his house, by the size of it, by the neighborhood it looks like it's in, just even going off of my area, which is a lower income area, I want to keep that in mind. And that is probably a $300,000 to $400,000 house. Probably. On the low end, let's say $250,000 on the low end, right? Let's say $250,000 on the low end. That's still, even with everything, closing costs, everything done, that's still going to be like $50,000 in your pocket, which is like a yearly salary. That's like a year's worth of salary. Like, that's insane to me. I know he's got a lot of medical problems. I know he's got a lot of issues like that. But this motherfucker, it made $3,000 off of just YouTube. I don't know if he has a Patreon. I don't know about Twitch. But it was just talking about YouTube. I know he has Twitch. I don't know how much he makes on it. But you're going to tell me that you can't live off of $3,000 a month? You sell the house, take that money, sell off a lot of this stuff. If you're, here's the thing. If you are living this lifestyle, regardless if you like this lifestyle, if you can't afford this lifestyle, you're not willing to get a job, you're not willing to try and to make better content or anything, you're willing to just live in this self-swallow of pity, then you need to live within your means. And instead, the thing that's frustrating about this is instead, he's trying to self-pity, guilt people into watching, self-pity into people donating, self-pity and support to keep this lifestyle that he can no longer afford because of his own self. And it's crazy to me that it's so clear, and either he can't see it or he won't see it, one of the two. And it's frustrating. As a monthly expense, I gotta get Diablo, I gotta get Zelda, I gotta get Final Fantasy. Fine, if you're writing it off to be content, fine, but you're not, right? Is he? I don't know. I can't imagine. I don't know what he actually like plays. Let's find his Twitch. Because he doesn't do gameplay content on YouTube, right? He doesn't do gameplay content on 412K followers on Twitch. It's really good. This is what he's recently played, what he's been recently doing. Whatever this Sukai game is, Super Mario Bros. Wonder, Borderlands 3. Well, that's 5 years ago. Hold on, recent broadcasts. Whatever this game is, Super Mario Wonder, Super Mario Wonder, Super Mario Wonder. Just chatting. A lot of just chatting. It only goes about 2 months ago. So I don't know if he streamed any of those games, but I'm going to just give him the benefit of the doubt and say maybe he streamed some of it. But like, you don't have to get them. You know what I mean? If your content isn't affording you these things, then you can't get them. It's so frustrating because like, I could, if I made $3,000 just off of ad rev, I could live off that. It's not where I'd want to be at because I wouldn't be making double what I am full time, but I could live off that. Like that's pretty good. That's more than a lot of people make at their full-time job a month. So it's really frustrating because it's like you're complaining about not having enough money to live. You're complaining about not being able to afford your life. And it's because you're living a life you can't afford. and you're not doing anything to change it. And that's what is so frustrating, that when he was talking about this stuff, I was getting so irritated about, because it's as simple as downsizing your house. You have a litany of collectibles. I have a ton of movies behind me. I have spent, how old am I now? Half of my life collecting these movies. I have a lot of video games. I've spent majority of my life collecting video games. You know, I have some magic cards that are worth some money, like he does. I see some of myself in Boogie in that sense. But the difference between us is, if I were in some kind of financial woes, I would sell this stuff. I would be willing to, like, I love our house. I don't want to move from our house. But if we got into a financial situation, we couldn't afford our mortgage, we would sell the house. You know what I mean? Like, that's the thing that drives me insane is like, there's a clear path he can take, but instead he wallers in it, which is probably the most frustrating thing ever. There's a line, I want to find this line where he actually says this whole tripping thing is weird. I want to find the line where he actually says about, I think it's right here,
about overcoming it. My therapist keeps telling me the same thing. When you learn to love yourself.
hold on,
Yeah, I know.
we'll talk about this in a second, this girlfriend thing.
I'll never be ready
We'll talk about
for
it in a
but
second.
I know. I don't want you to be alone.
I don't want you to be alone.
Okay?
I've talked to my therapist since me and her have been together about overcoming it. My therapist keeps telling me the same thing. When you learn to love yourself, all these things will fall into place, and we just got to teach you those skills. And then I turn to my doctor and I'm like, what do we do? He's like, you've had bypass surgery. You lost 200 pounds. What more can I do for you? I'm like, fix it, dude. Help fix it. And then they're telling me that I'm the one that has to fix it. I don't know what the hell I'm doing.
You are the one who has to fix it. You are the only person in the this is just advice for everybody. I'm not a counselor or a doctor, but I believe in this. You are the only person who can control your own happiness. You can use other people to become happy. You can use other items to become happy. You can use other objects, alcohol, drugs, all those things to try to find happiness. But in the end, you are the only person who can find happiness. I have somebody who has also struggled with mental health most of my life. I have my own issues, and I have my own struggles of trying to find happiness. I'm going to be honest with you and upfront with that. However, I know that I'm the only one who can fix it. He is blatantly saying, I need you to fix my problems for me. You're the one who needs to fix your problems. You have a weight problem, diet. I trust me, I'm a chunky fella myself. I have a hard time. Sometimes that greasy burger just is calling to you. That Taco Bell is whispering in your back of your pocket going, hey man, you want some cheesy gordita crunches? You know what I mean? That sugary pop is going, hey, you know, you're feeling a little down today. You could use a little bit of a pick-me-up. And you're like, you're right, I could. That beer is calling to you in the fridge being like, ooh, it's been a rough day at work. Why don't we cut loose a little bit? You know what I mean? These things are there. Those temptations are there. And I'm definitely someone who has impulse control. I'm definitely someone who has, you know, kind of not really the strongest of will at points. You know what I mean? Sometimes you cave into those things. I'm completely self-aware of that. And I feel like he is not. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying I'm better than him or anything like that, but it's so frustrating for him to be like, I have all these problems. And this is the stem truth of everything I've seen in the documentary. There's a scene where he literally is telling his girlfriend, hold on. He's literally telling his girlfriend, like, I'm about to die.
Actually get it. But this is my health summary. This is everything that's currently wrong with me.
This pissed me off.
My risk for stroke or heart attack is astronomical. I am essentially a walking time bomb. And I'm so fucking sorry for that.
Weight is such a difficult thing. I don't think people, I feel like skinnier people feel like, oh, weight's not a big deal. Weight is a difficult thing. Not only does it stem physically, but it also stems mentally. I said something earlier about how Boogie has his downfall of his channel has kind of picked up this snowball and it's continuing, and that fight to get back up is going to be, so it seems almost impossible. Weight's the same way. You get this weight, it snowballs. You start feeling bad physically, you start feeling bad mentally. A lot of this weight comes from mentality. Not all of it. Some of it comes from literally like glandular problems and stuff like that. Some people, you know, have physicalities where they can't lose weight. So the weight and stuff in your health can be an uphill battle. It can be really hard, and it can be one thing. When one thing goes wrong, all these other things go wrong, and then it builds and it builds and it builds. I know for me, I'm heavy. I'm 6'2", about 300 bills. You know what I mean? I'll be open about it. I don't really exercise a whole lot. I have a job that I am physically active in, but like outside of that, I don't, I don't go work out at the gym. I feel like I move enough at work. I don't go running and things like that. And I have joint pain. You know what I mean? I have back pains. I have issues that when I have, and because I move a lot at my job, when I'm not at my work, I want to relax. You know what I mean? I get that. There are things, I completely understand about how hard it is to control your health, especially when your mental health is bad. It's very easy when you have poor mental health or your mental health is decayed or you're having a bad mental health day. It's very, very easy to just go, oh, I'm going to have Burger King for dinner because I don't feel like cooking anything. The grease and the salt is going to cover me like a warm blanket. I will eat that oatmeal cream pie. You know what I mean? Because I deserve a snack because I feel like shit. Or, oh, you know what? Maybe I'll have a half a bottle of Jack Daniels because, I don't feel good and it's going to pick me up a little bit. I completely get that. I understand that completely. But to sit here in front of somebody who you supposedly love, who supposedly loves you, and sit here and go, these are all my problems. I'm probably going to die. I'm sorry. I'm not going to fix it, is really frustrating to me. It's not that hard to do small things. It's very hard for someone like Boogie, who has the mental issues he has, who has clearly he likes this woe is me thing, this pity party that he likes to have. It's clear that he likes that a lot. And he gets a lot out of that. So it's going to be hard for him to, and his weight and his health currently, it's going to be hard for him to get anywhere in the sense of like a lot of change. But to me, this is an admission of not even willing to try. And instead, I feel like he's basically telling his girlfriend, I'm in bad shape. I don't know why you'd want to be with me. As in to even like make her pity him more, which is really gross to think about. It's really gross to think about. It really is. And that's indicative of like everything of this whole.
What more can I do for you? I'm like, fix it, dude. Help fix it. And then they're telling me that I'm the one that has to fix it. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. And I'm making less and less every month. And I'm scared.
So what's frustrating about that is like, you do know what to do. You do know what to do. You just can't do it because you can't implement it because you're not willing to do it. You're this self-fulfilling prophecy of I want people to pity me. I feel bad because of my life, the state I'm in. YouTube is dead. He's obviously always had problems with weight, which I'm assuming comes from also eating unhealthily, things like that, and overeating. He got 3 chicken quesadillas isn't a lot. But getting 2 entrees when you got to dinner, that's a lot. That's a lot. That is a lot. So, you have that aspect of it, right? And so you have this aspect where he finds comfort in food. He doesn't like himself. He has a lot of self-image issues, a lot of self-confidence issues, it seems like. Then on top of that is he likes this pity party people give him because they feel bad for him. So he digs even deeper. And it's like this gross cycle of just never ending. And then he has the gall to basically tell this girl who's willing to be with him for whatever reason, and he's basically saying like, I'm broke, we're probably gonna lose the house, I'm dying, sorry. It's like, and you're not willing to fix anything. But watch this.
So if I'm broke, if I go broke, okay, if
watch your
we
face.
end up back on disability,
like for real, watch your face.
And it's me, you, and Chad living in some small apartment, and we're eating McDonald's every day, and that's treating ourselves. You gonna be able to handle that?
Yeah,
You
I
stay
guess
in
it's
that?
me, you, Chad, eating McDonald's every day in our small, cute apartment.
Because, I mean, I'm hopeful that people will...
She is dead inside. That just like... she is not okay with that.
Go back.
She is not okay with that at all. She is totally not okay with that. But that's the thing, too, is like... Here's another way you can save money. He's drinking name brand pop. You can get off brand pop. If you have to have pop or soda, you can get, or Coke, you can get off brand, right? You don't have to buy name brand stuff. Look at all this magic stuff. Those look like they're sealed. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know who this Chad is. I don't know what their living conditions are. But, like, if he's living there, pay rent. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what the deal is. So I don't want to say very much on that. But I don't know who this Chad guy is, where it's not out of the question that just you two live together. Where's where he's selling the magic cards real quick? Because I have a complaint with that comes back to his finances. Where was that at? Right here.
400, 450 on each of these. $1,000 for the stuff. Like there's a couple of cradles in there. There's a City of Traders in there.
Well, I could do 200 a piece on those.
What?
The guys over here, Pawn
Dude,
Star
I thought
and
we were
Boogie.
looking more like
I like the I like how he's the negotiator. He's got like this whole like trade setup where he's like, I'm sitting higher than you. He's like leaning across the table at one point
400,
over top of
450
Boogie.
on each of these.
I like it. He's got the big Sam Hyde power play move here.
175 is what it's down to.
Oh, yeah.
So it's funny because he's like, I have magic cards that I can sell to be. It's like almost treating like his magic cards like he's played the stock market. I know people, there's like channels out there that's like magic card, like finances and stuff like that. Don't take a card game as any kind of actual like financial liquidity or equity. You know what I mean? They are flexible. Sometimes they go up, sometimes they go down, but it's too volatile of a market. Don't like be like, oh yeah, I'm good. I know I said I could sell magic cards. I have some, like, even if they drop in price, I still have enough that I could probably pay a month's worth of bills. That's not what I'm getting at. I know a lot of the stuff I collected that I said I would sell depreciates in value. Some of it goes up, a lot of it doesn't. But the point is like you're selling them off, where he almost acts like, dude, these were worth this at one point. What happened? It's like, yeah, you can't be surprised they go down. Don't play the card stock market.
I took a beating. Fuck, these are reserved list cards, Glenn.
Yeah.
I like how he's like, come on, man. And here's another thing is I get he's probably loyal to this store. It sounds like he goes here all the time. He's probably loyal to them. You know what I mean? So I kind of get that. But at the same time, like, just sell your shit on Netflix. I want to know what set it was.
I'm in a game shop. It's because
Oh, it's New Phyrexia. Okay. All for one, or all will be one, or whatever it is. So yeah, a pre-release. $30 for a pre-release, pretty good. Not bad. Yeah, I don't know. It's his whole financial debacle is just really frustrating and annoying because like he's just living with outside his means. It's as simple as that. He's just not living within his means. What happened to YouTube? Why'd it freeze up on me?
People will like.
You know, he's just living with outside his means. It's as simple as that. Like, what are all these totes? You know what I mean? What's all this stuff? You know? And then on top of that, being like, I have to pay for all of our friends to have food, and their friends are like, you don't have to. Oh, I want to share this. This is really funny. Hold on, I just want to share this real quick while we're here.
Throughout the years, like, you don't have to feed us, but
you
you do it anyway. So
When are we gonna start bringing
Yeah, like, you don't have to feed your friends. They can chip in.
girlfriends around?
It's a nice thing to do. It's a nice gesture, but you know, you don't have to continue to do it. And there's no shame in just being like, either just be like, hey man, we can get pizza, but you guys got to chip in. You know what I mean? There's no shame in it.
Also, when are we gonna start bringing girlfriends?
This is
around
my
that are
favorite.
hooker? Because
Look at his face, like, what? That's so funny. His face is just like,
around for 5 years.
what are you
we
talking
haven't had,
about?
like, legitimate girlfriends
Don't out me on this documentary,
in
bro.
a long time. You haven't dated in a while. You haven't dated.
I mean, yeah, a while out. That's fair enough. Yeah.
I mean, you've
That hit a sore spot. Oh, that's funny. I do. I just like his one friend's face is like, look at that. He's just like, what are you talking about, dude? You know, when that secret gets dropped out of the closet, you're just like, I wasn't prepared for that. But like, yeah, like, look at all these like 1-up arcade machines. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, these aren't like, they're probably going to sell for like 200 a piece, but like, how many of them has he got? You know? Where's where it shows his office where he makes YouTube videos at? Why is there so much video of him in the bathtub? That's what I want to know. Why is there so much video of him in a bathtub in this documentary? Mike likes his tub shots, I guess. Let me jump to here real quick. Come on,
my
YouTube.
finances, worrying about my internet, worrying about what people think about me. It's
Enjoy the
also
bathtub. I want to see his
incredibly
office because like
stupid.
he had a lot of
It's
stuff
all
in his
just
office.
Bullshit. I think I'm gonna enjoy making
I was not gonna show it. I like how he still just uses Blue Yetis and just like a webcam instead of like a DSLR or anything.
YouTube videos again. I think I'm gonna enjoy live streaming again.
What's up?
I was just not gonna show it. I want to show you the part where he goes in his office because I think it's also indicative a little bit. Like Is it up here toward the beginning? Yeah. Yeah, see, even though documentary is like, no, dude, you still make, like, you know what I mean? Like, per view, like, it's really not that bad. It's got a nice house. Like, yeah, this house would sell for quite a bit.
This is where I spend 6 to 8 hours a day.
Dude, look how, like, disheveled, like, that Pac-Man thing's falling off the wall. Really don't like the wall texture. Like, look at all this stuff in here you could probably just sell off. I shouldn't say anything. My fucking office is in disarray right now, too. I want to get it cleaned up so bad.
Save my career.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube? Boogie2988 was the power of the internet. Today, let's
The corner he shows on camera is in good shape. But he has a lot of stuff. He has a lot of stuff that he could easily liquidate. You know what I mean? The only other thing I think, where am I at here? Finances wise, also, yeah, spending that much money on prostitution, spending that much money in the crypto market, like, yeah, you had an insane amount of money that you could have used to pay off your mortgage and all this stuff. And the thing that's really annoying is I've heard him in the past saying, because I've heard a clip of him being asked why, it might have been the Turkey Tom documentary, like why he sold or went all into like put 600,000 or whatever in crypto instead of like paying off his house and stuff. And he was like, well, I just thought, you know, I was going to end myself. And so I thought, you know, dead men don't have houses. It's like, that's such bullshit, because like, while I get it, you know, you're going to burn through the money like there's no tomorrow. One, you didn't follow through with it. But then two, which I'm glad you didn't. But then two is like that if you paid off your house, you could have willed that to somebody you love. You could have willed that to somebody. You have this Chad guy living with you. You could have willed that to him if he had paid it off. You know what I mean? So that's really kind of irritating, and he would be in a much different financial situation if he would have just paid off the house in the first place. The escort things is ridiculous. The whole comment, I want to play that comment for you. Where's the LA 10s comment? The Arkansas 8s, LA 10s.
And I took them to like Disneyland and shit.
You bought me dinner.
I like to hang out with beautiful women, fuck beautiful women. We all do. I never got to do that. The women I dated were pretty, sure, but they were like Arkansas 8s, not LA 10s. With sugaring, I got to fuck some LA 10s, and I think that's cool.
We got back to the hotel.
That's pathetic. Where's the part two where he says something about he deserves it?
Meet market like Tinder, you kind of scroll down the list of photos until you find someone, right? Like, I deserve that, and I want that, and I've never had it.
Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, but why do you think you deserve it? Why does anybody think they deserve something like that? It's so great. And why he's sitting at like a Magic play mat with a Pokemon box in front of him. I feel like he would, if he just went through and straightened his house up and organized it and like decluttered, he'd probably just feel mentally a little bit better. I think it's a little bit indicative. But yeah, that's like such a goofy statement. But then, yeah, just to spend all that money on that, it's just absolutely wild. You know what I mean? I kind of wonder if it comes from a place of like, did he do any of this stuff while he was with his ex-wife? Or did this come from a place that his ex-wife left him, so he felt like he didn't have anybody, so he just went off the hinge? You know what I mean? And yeah, that's just stupid. It's just a waste of money. I don't know why you'd pay for that ever, honestly. Like, I don't know why you'd ever pay for that. To finish off on his dark comedy skit, the problem with him as a person having dark comedy is he sold his brand as being this funny face, this like nice guy persona, right? He didn't sell himself as like this dark comic. Oh, I had to stretch. Like, you can love dark comedy. I love dark comedy. I use some of it, but I feel like my sense of humor is a lot more drier, you know? But like he sold this persona of like being this nice guy. That was like his whole shtick. And when you start throwing in these horrific comments that aren't funny, they're just edgy and shocked to be shocking. There's no substance to them. There's nothing there other than it just to be edgy. It really diminishes your brand. Damages. Yeah, it really damages and diminishes your brand, because it's not on brand. It's not what you're presenting. It's not what you're telling people you are, or you've been presenting this whole time. So it comes off in like left field. And it's like, has he done that his entire career? Has he done those offhanded comments always, and then it just became a problem? Or is that something that just kind of came out of the blue? You know what I mean? I think that's always been there in him, but that's another reason why people didn't like it, because they were getting something they didn't originally sign up for. You know, when you had this persona of like people thinking you're this way, but even if you're not really that way, that's why if you're going to do anything ever in life, period, you should be yourself, honest with yourself, have authenticity. And I feel like people didn't see that authenticity anymore. You know what I mean? And he's been non-authentic ever since. I think that's why his channel is dying. Even though one person says that. Where's it at? Where's that YouTube expert at?
It could be as simple as just that positive attitude.
Why not use your only life
Like, look how back and
to make
forth
the
this
lives
is.
around you better?
It's like
Fuck
Whiplash.
You. It's none of your fucking business. It's my body. It's my choice. Eat shit.
And over time,
He does a really good job at presenting this, and it works
in the
really
content,
well.
we see this shift where he starts to become more interested in money.
I just like making content. I just like talking to a camera. I just like doing cool stuff. I just want ad revenue. I just want YouTube to pay me a fair amount. That's all I've ever wanted, right?
See,
Yeah,
it's
it's
really
concerns about money.
interesting to see the
It's to
contrasting there.
Hold on to the money you get.
Oh, are you trying to manipulate people into giving you money?
The answer is yes. Give me some money.
And more interested in complaining.
You know?
Couldn't be more grateful. I couldn't be more grateful that people want to come.
Thank you.
I'm a walking embarrassment, dude.
We do. Look at me. I'm fucking disgusting. Better. I'm a piece of shit. I will never
I mean, it's self-explanatory.
function the way
I don't know why people don't watch me on YouTube.
you function. It's not possible.
That's why if you're griping to your viewers, if
Hey now.
you're
I gripe quite a bit,
complaining to your subscribers, I mean, that just leaves a
but I also don't feel like I sold a persona of happiness either.
sour taste in people's mouths.
I think my window's closing. And if it's not closing already, it's already closed.
Right, so if there was money to be made in making people feel depressed, I think Boogie would be in the right business.
Like, that's just my life philosophy of this.
Is there... I thought there was a line
point.
about him not
Just
being
face
authentic.
down in the mud. That's pretty much how we live our lives.
Isn't there... Yeah. This is his house, right? There's literally houses. So if he's standing at that door, he's firing. He's clearly firing over this house in the corner. This one right here. He's clearly firing over this house. Fuck you, Boogie. Take your guns away from you. Also, yeah, looking at this like suburbia that he's living in, one, there's no way he's not paying an HOA. I'd be super surprised if he's not. And then two is like that. This house easily has to be $300,000-$400,000. There's like no way. I know it's in Arkansas, but there's like no way it's not $300,000-$400,000. Also, just saying, but if you really think you're gonna die in 10 years, dude, you could easily live off $100,000 for 10 years. Well, I don't know. Maybe that's like what, 10,000 a year? Maybe not. Take that back. I'll just take it back. Let me just take that back. I didn't do the math in my head. I spoke before I thought.
That's right around the corner.
Where's okay, that's the covert narcissism thing. That's where he tells him to get a job. There's a line somewhere in here where he says about... I realize we don't get like this guy's perspective at all. He must not have had a whole lot to
He's
say.
losing what made people originally like him.
Yeah, here it is.
It could be
I
as
skipped
simple
over
as
it.
just that positive attitude.
Okay. So he basically says, so yeah, he's basically just saying he went off brand. He changed his personality so drastically that people were like, this isn't the guy that I liked, And that's what I'm saying is you don't have authenticity. You don't really have anything. There's a difference between playing a character. So like a Mr. Bean, Rowan Atkinson, while he's a great actor, has done other things, mainly known for Mr. Bean. That's like his thing. You know what I mean? You can do that online. You can play a character online. But you have to be upfront that it's a character, right? If you're going, oh, I'm playing, I'm going to play this Bob Ross kind of character. But off screen, I'm not really like this. Like, this is a show. That's different than being like, this is who I am. And then off screen. Like, could you imagine if you found out Bob Ross was like buying hookers and shit? It would diminish his brand. People wouldn't want to support him and watch him because it's not who he says he is. He's being fake. And Boogie did the same thing. And that's why his career's taken a nosedive. I am a fan of being truthful. I am very much a fan of being honest to the point that it could be self-incriminating. I'm fine with being honest to the point that it could be hurtful. I'm fine with being honest to the point to where it is, I don't know how to explain it. Like, it is maybe in a situation not the right call. I'm a big fan of being open and honest. And if Boogie's going to sit there and complain about his life to his audience and it comes from a place of truthfulness, good. I think that's a good place to start. However, I don't think when people want to watch something, I don't think they want to sit in a whirlpool of self-pity the entire time. I think they want they want to think about some things, they want some kind of message out of it, or they just want entertainment. You know what I mean? They want something along those lines, or they want an echo chamber. You know, there's a couple of different reasons why people would want to watch the content they want to watch. But I think when you're in a situation of this contrasting of, no, I am this nice guy, but also like I'm this person, and also give me money and stuff like that, it's going to be very hard, I think, to maintain an audience. But I think it'd be really easy for Boogie to bounce out of. You know what I mean? I think it'd be really easy for people want him to strive, it seems like. So I feel like it would be easy for him to bounce out of it. And I think one of the main easiest ways to do it is to work, make content regularly, stream regularly. And I think Boogie's in this position where he could just open his life, especially after this documentary, through all the ugly details, and would come out on the other end probably better for it. Like, this documentary puts Boogie in a really bad light. Like, I wouldn't want to watch this content. I wouldn't want to hang out with this dude. I wouldn't want to get to know this dude. You know what I mean? Those are all situations that have come out of this documentary where it's like, wow, you know what I mean? It's like, I don't like who this person is. I wouldn't want to be friends with them or hang out with them. Like, this is like probably the funniest part of the documentary. Hold on. Let me play this, because this is kind of how I feel. Right here. Watch. This is so funny. Halfway into the documentary production, I decided to take a break. The mood was overwhelmingly depressing.
A documentary that was generally entertaining. You realize, wait a second, everything he says is depressing. Everything he says is like the saddest shit I've ever heard. That would be half of my mortgage.
That, I think, right there is pause. I think that right there speaks volumes. You know what I mean? I really do. I think that right there speaks volumes, because it shows, I think, why people don't want to watch his content. It's because it's overwhelmingly depressing. And that's the way this documentary comes across. But it's not depressing in the sense of like, oh, you know, this person can't overcome this or anything like that. It's this, he's not willing to do it. And I think that turns people off even further. If you were someone who's like, I have these mental health issues, I have these problems, and you're open and honest about it, and people could see that you're really trying, then they would probably be on your side. But the thing is he's not trying. He's not really trying. He's just going, I'm depressed. I'm going to die. What's it matter? And people are going to be like, I guess it doesn't matter. I guess you don't matter. And they're going to quit watching. They're going to ignore you. And then you can't go, oh, give me money, or else I'm not going to pay these bills and stuff because I can't make money and I deserve this stuff. It's like, you don't deserve it. You know what I mean? The only things I think in life you truly deserve are human rights, right? Like, everybody deserves the same equal rights as everybody else. And that's it. That's all you deserve. From there, you got to forge your own path. You know what I mean? So it's like, for him to be like, I deserve all this and that and blah, 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 blah. But then everything he makes is just this pity party, self-wallowing, my life sucks, you know, I don't have any will to live and I'm not going to do anything to change it. Or he's going to say he wants to change things and then doesn't do anything. Like, that's why people don't watch. And there's definitely a way for him to bounce back. That he gets on this channel that's supposedly dying and dead way more views than I ever would in a month. I would kill to have his numbers. And it's like, all he has to do, like, is just be open and honest and be genuine, which I think his genuine person he is right now is not pleasant, but also like work to strive. Like, you're basically saying you want your life to change and you want change, but you're doing nothing to change. And that's what's killing people. It's not the fact you're depressed. It's not the fact you have complaints. It's not the fact you're being honest about your feelings. It's the fact you're not willing to do anything. And on top of that is like, I don't know how much of it's honest. Some of it comes from a very manipulative stance of like, woe, pity me, woe is me, pity, pity, pity. You know what I mean? So not all of it comes from a place of what feels like genuine honesty. A lot of it comes from a place that feels very manipulative to garner and farm that sympathy. So that's another thing. It's frustrating. It's like a frustrating thing. And you know, to even like further this is this whole fake job interview thing they had set up, which is hilarious. Like, listen to this.
And where you think you want to go with the experience that you already have.
I did work at a small gaming store back in 2006, 2007. I am disabled. recognized by the state of Arkansas, but also the United States government. There's that. Now, the downside of that is I am extremely depressed. So there's some mental health issues that we bring to the table. And then physically, I am morbidly obese. I have no references, no work history, and no education. And when you Google my name, you might see rumors that I beat my ex-wife, and I am also a pedophile. Should mention I'm also a felon.
Okay. What's the nature of your felony?
Aggravated assault.
How old is it?
About 2 years.
Okay. So I think there are some avenues you could explore. I definitely don't think it's impossible, but you have some challenges.
Yeah.
Lots of things in life are about your mindset, and you're using weight and disability. I can't. If that is the attitude that you're going to have when you approach everything, then you can't, and you won't.
I did work in the porn industry for the better part of 7 years, so I mean...
Be real with me. Do you really think it
What
would
did
be
he
a good
do in the
idea
industry?
to go to a real interview and
I don't think I want to know.
It depended on the job, I would think. Like...
Oh, shoot. See, like, this doesn't feel genuine. This doesn't feel like a genuine thing. Like, it comes across very much of, like, I don't want a job. I feel like he thinks is like, I'm never going to get a job because I don't bring anything to the table. And so he just throws away this interview. He, like, tries to, like, destroy this interview. Which this isn't a real job interview, but, like, still, you know what I mean? It's like... I mean, he says it right after this that he doesn't want a job.
Original YouTubers.
Right here.
When I have 4 million subscribers.
Be the ones to decision as to whether or not we would feel comfortable presenting.
Alright, get to the
someone
point
like
that
to
I
our
want to...
clients.
Did I give his weight? I'll go back to that in a second.
Hey, Mike. Listen,
Right here.
I know we're making this documentary and everything, and I know you think I need to get a real job, but I just want to let you know I'm not going to. I'm not going to walk into some job when I have 4 million subscribers on YouTube. I'm one of the original YouTubers. What I'm going to do instead is go back to making content, go back to telling stories and entertaining people and making money doing it. And you want to check back with me in a couple of months?
I mean, that's indicative, right? Just say on this, like,
Be the ones to whether or not we would feel comfortable.
age 450 in that one. Damn. At 5'10", yeah, that's pretty heavy. 5'10", he's a little bit taller than I thought he was. But anyway. Yeah. So, yeah, he's like, I know, screw that. I'm a YouTuber. I don't have to. I have 4 million subs. This job's beneath me. That's what it kind of feels like. Which, by the way, at 4 million subs, he could turn, like, a lot of those subs you could call dead subs. Like, yeah, 4 million's the number, right? But let's be honest. Like, he has 20-some thousand watching, which you could still probably make a decent amount off of. Create a Patreon, which I'd be surprised. I want to know now. Does he have a Patreon? You know, create a Patreon, and then start putting out content on regular. Start, like, making decent content. And also, like, as much as he says he likes video games, he could literally just be playing Let's Plays on Twitch. You know what I mean? He does not have a Patreon. Why does he not have a Patreon? That's so weird to me. It's also weird he don't have 1 billion views yet. But yeah, you know, he could make... He's making Trolling a Makeover Specialist documentary. So he's uploading, like, documentary scenes, eating 30-year-old gum. Like, there's a lot of things Boogie could be doing to make better content. But I feel like if he just did video game news, like, twice a week, and then just did Let's Plays, like, create a Let's Play channel, Let's Play games on streams, upload them to the Let's Play channel. On this channel, you know, whatever he's doing now, just keep doing it, I guess. You know what I mean? He'd be fine. He'd be fine. Sell your house, downsize. He'd be fine. Reaction to Dark Side of Boogie trailer? Wasn't there like a Boogie watch? I watched the documentary. I'm scared.
Well, I did it. I finally saw the final version of the documentary Mike Clum.
I hate whatever he's got going on the walls here. Looks so bad.
Filmed at my house over the last 9 months. The one that you'll get.
But yeah, there's like so he did upgrade his mic equipment, it looks like. But yeah, there's a lot he could be doing for content wise. Like, you have a platform that people watch that you could easily be doing things to generate more. You're just not. So again, I don't really feel bad for your financial situation because you're not doing things proactively to enhance your income revenue, and you're not doing things proactively to enhance your lifestyle to where a lower income revenue where less would be more. You know what I mean?
A chance.
So I don't feel that bad for him in that sense.
See you on October.
I know he's supposed to be doing this like locale podcasts and stuff, but like Boogie's a big enough name too. He could be working with other large YouTubers to revitalize his career.
31st.
I know I keep pausing this. It wouldn't be hard. With his platform he already has, it would not be hard to inject some life into his content. He just won't do it.
Link will be down
Why
below.
did that click
Now,
off
until this
full
thing
screen?
premieres on the 31st, I can't show you a lot of clips, but I'm going to show you some clips from the documentary as well as extended scenes that didn't make the final cut.
Tell me a little bit about your background.
Where I've seen
Documentaries and wanted me to be one of the first ones. I thought, as well as him, that the best thing to do would be just to show you myself, warts and all. Since I've been with Desi for 6 months at this point, I plan to be with her forever. So here's some clips that you can expect when it involves
We're going to talk about his
relationship
girlfriend here in a little
status
bit.
and her in general.
So knowing that fame doesn't,
Because people have always extremely overestimated how much money I made. And then the way that I spent my money was very
This is
stupid.
boring.
I made
His content's boring to
a lot
me.
of very
I will
stupid
say
mistakes.
that.
I wanted to address this in this documentary, show you the receipts, show you how much money I had, showed you the stuff that was in my home, showed you exactly what it is I've done to screw up my life this much, and hopefully recover from it.
shit.
Yeah, that's fine, but isn't the numbers like messed up? Like you have like 30,000 in crypto you could just bail out of. Like you could I would kill to just be able to pull $30,000 out of an account like today. I don't know if that's how Bitcoin works. I don't know anything about cryptocurrency, but
And if it goes back up, I can make
like, yeah, you have apparently 31,000 in crypto. Like, oh
some
my
of
God,
my
it's
money.
so frustrating. Pull that out. Pay something off. Do a debt snowball. I don't know what debt you have. Apparently not very much. But like, do a debt snowball.
back. But if I pull it out, then what I'll spend, I pay off part of the
Does he not actually say anything about this documentary?
Let's watch this thing. And afterwards, I will show you some clips that didn't make the final cut.
How much per year should I be earning?
I would say at least over 150.
Do you legitimately want a girlfriend? I mean this legitimately.
My name is Desiree Davis, and
It's like one where he's like naked, gross.
They'll never be able to do it better than Mike Clum did. Someone who came into my house, who got to know the real
Yeah, Mike
me,
Clum did
who
a
got to
good
see the
documentary.
receipts.
Like it's the Boogie documentary. As much as like Turkey Tom's video is good and like some other videos have been good, I will say they're different because like I feel like Turkey Tom's kind of chronicles a little bit more history of Boogie, where Mike Clum's is a little bit more of like the here and now Boogie. Like his is like, here's the state he's at. We're gonna show you kind of how he got here, but it's more of like a reflective of like the current state. But it is the Boogie documentary, that's for sure.
Put him in a documentary. We'll always have that. As always, guys, thanks for watching.
Fuck
I love
you.
very
That's not what happened. That title's wrong. I watched the Boogie documentary reaction. No, you just said, hey, this is what this scene is, and then played the scene. That's not even what this video was. Ew. Darkest part of this documentary. It's over. I'm done with the drama. House tour 2023. So it's like he's just up. No offense, this should be Mike's stuff. Mike should be uploading this, not Boogie. It's cool Mike, I apparently probably let him upload this stuff, but in reality, like, Mike should be uploading this stuff. This should be Mike's content, not his. Trolling a makeover specialist. So yeah, it's not even like he didn't even react to this. There's a lot Boogie could be doing to like improve his viewership. I guess I should say, like, let's go back. What was the documentary? Like, let's say the documentary was like a while ago, right? Nah, his views are still pretty good. Wonder if he ran ads on this cancer video. He did. Like, yeah, some of these videos get a lot of, they still get like quite a bit of views. I don't know like how much his like upload schedule is. What's like his recent upload schedule like? 1, 2, I mean, he's had 6 videos in a week. Like, that's pretty good. So yeah, I don't know. He should be fine. Like, in the grand scheme of things. The last thing I want to talk about is his girlfriend. I think that's the last thing to bring up, to talk about. Yeah, because we've covered pretty much everything. The psychedelics thing I don't care about. That was kind of that's a part of the documentary that I think could have been left on the cutting room floor. I get it because it's like it apparently gave him this new perspective to want to create content again, but but yeah, so his girlfriend, there's an age gap, 20 and 49, but they're both consenting adults. The part is that I find kind of creepy or just weird about the whole situation is like Boogie clearly doesn't bring much.
And then the
Clearly
longer
doesn't
we
bring much to
spent
the table.
Talking, I don't know. Eventually, you just realize we're the same person.
Doesn't bring a lot to the table. Like, he's wallowing in self-pity because his channel is dying. He's saying he doesn't have any money, that he's broke. You know, he's saying basically they might be looking at like foreclosure. He's saying that, oh, you know, if we get together, you're only gonna have a couple years with me, everything like that. And then she's just like, I didn't have a dad and I'm bonded with him because he's like a father figure, I guess, for some reason or something like that. She's basically, she even said at one point, I don't know where it's at, but it's like, he's here. And like, apparently that was like good enough. Is it like right here?
On camera. What would you do?
This whole part's cringy.
Yes. That's a good sign.
Everything she says doesn't seem authentic. Like she looks like that is the face of somebody dead inside. I'm not saying that to be mean, but like there's something going on here, like with her that doesn't feel.
Boogie has improved
I don't know if genuine is the right word, but
my life
just something
tremendously.
seems off.
He just makes me happy, the happiest I've ever been. And I'm not alone, and so that he just completes me.
There it is.
Growing up without a father.
Basically saying like I have somebody. So this feels like not a very healthy relationship because it feels very much that she's lonely and just needs somebody there. And then Boogie has all of boogieisms. You know what I mean? So that's where the weird thing. It's not so much the age. I could care less as long as they're consenting adults. I could care less about the age gap. But when it comes to like this, this relationship's clearly being built on unhealthy tendencies and coping mechanisms, and that's not good. That's not good. I want her axolotl plushie though, or a little Godzilla plushie. I didn't realize that. I want that. But yeah, so and I like how she does like all that yard chores. She like does basically all the house chores. So yeah, that's kind of creepy. That's all I'm gonna really touch on there. It's really sad when he's like basically telling her like, I don't know why you're with me. I'm gonna die. Because the truth is like, is he gonna see 60? It's gonna be a long shot. I don't feel like it's unreasonable. I don't know what this cancer diagnosis. By the way, hey, that was something. He's supposed to have some kind of blood, like rare blood cancer, right? And when he went through his list of like health here, let me read it. But I don't think he said anything about that cancer.
That's wrong with Boogie.
In this,
Low testosterone.
I'm gonna turn this down because I don't know if that song's copyrighted. Low testosterone, testicular hypergonadism. I'm not sure what that is. Sleeping apnea. Blockages due to lymphatic flow, hyperhenic eczema, chronic back pain, protein in urine. And then there's another list here. History of gut bypass, high blood sugar, intestinal, vitamin D, morbid obesity, major depressive disorder, major anxiety disorder, history of diabetes mellitus. I don't know what that is. Blood pooling of veins, varicose veins in the legs with complications. Lumbar, history of basal. I'm pretty sure basal cell carcinoma is a type of skin cancer. So there's nothing here where he talks about that whole like blood cancer he supposedly has that like takes a long time for him to die. He made a whole video about it that got like 200,000+. I just saw it, like 200,000+ views on it. And that's MIA from this documentary. That's a weird discrepancy, right? Am I the one who's noticed that? Because I'm pretty sure basal cell carcinoma is a type of skin cancer. I'm almost 100% positive of that. I could be wrong. But and maybe one of these mumbo jumbo, things. Maybe, one of these mumbo jumbo things, like, I don't, recognize as it being, eczema. So, yeah, that's weird, right? That's weird. Why is that not a thing? Is that not a thing? Because he made a whole video about him having this rare, where he was taking testosterone supplements or whatever. One of the side effects was this rare blood cancer that's, like, basically it, like, causes your blood to clot or something like that. I can't remember exactly. But I had watched that video because I doom spiral about health things. And so when I see someone like a prominent nature have a video where it's just a cancer, I have a rare form of cancer or something, I'm going to like doom click on it because that's how I am. And then it's absent from this video. Hold on. I guess I didn't want to spend all day on this boogie thing. I have a rare form of cancer 1 year ago, 235,000
every
videos.
day that I wake up is a good day. It's the one day I don't wake up that sucks. So I've been debating for a while to talk to you guys about this, but I hope it brings you guys a little bit of clarity about some of the videos I've made in the last month or so. Because, you remember about 3 weeks back, I said that I likely could potentially have a form of cancer. Turns out I got a
Vera. So we now know what it's called. It's not on this list, right? Did we miss it? That's the second list.
Testosterone.
Like I said, I don't know if that's. So now we know what it's called. Where's the second second part? High blood pressure, history of gastric bypass, intestinal malabsorption, vitamin D deficiency, morbid obesity, major depressive disorder. Yeah, it's not in here. Unless this varicose veins of the legs with complications is supposed to be it. It's not in here. That's weird. That's a weird discrepancy. Also, real quick on the side here, cancer is 1, game's over, my cancer journey 9, journey ends. Cancer is a disgusting disease that I absolutely hate, that I can't believe we don't have a cure for at this point. And I really, it's awful. It's awful stuff. And I wish it on absolutely nobody. I will say this, for me personally, I hate this kind of content because I'm a hypochondriac and it makes me spiral into a place I don't like to be. And I hate seeing this kind of content. But I think it's very important to document it. I think it's very interesting to want to document it. But that being said, I personally, as somebody, absolutely hate it. I don't want to see it. If I were to get cancer, I would not document it. But that's me. It makes me spiral pretty hard. Anyway, enough about me. Back to this. So that's a weird discrepancy because basal cell. I'm like almost 100%. I'm not gonna look it up, but almost 100% basal cell carcinoma is a type of skin cancer. Interesting. That is interesting. Outside of that, I don't think I have anything else to talk about the documentary. I think I went through everything. Boogie is an interesting character. After watching this, I don't care to watch his content. We watched a couple clips of his videos today, and not my thing. His content's not my thing. But I think he's an interesting figure that's had an interesting story arc. Definitely fits in that locale subcategory of YouTube content. Shout out to Mike. This is a really incredible documentary. Really well made. Really tight editing. I didn't have a lot to say in between because I didn't have time to, because we jumped from thing to thing to thing to thing. Some pretty funny moments as well. But yeah, great documentary. I give the documentary an 8 out of 10. The psychedelic part is just out of place and kind of weird. The documentary kind of shifts focus mid-documentary, where it becomes more of like a, you know, this thing with Boogie is so depressing, like this video is kind of suck. And so they kind of go on this new perspective of like, let's get Boogie out there to do things. And obviously it backfires because it's Boogie. You know, and I think the documentary got a little bit of a leg up by him getting a girlfriend because it became a new topic that was kind of interesting to talk about. But that last part where he does mushrooms, I get it. It's like it leads into him being like, I love YouTube, and it gave me a new perspective on life. And it's like, I don't think things have really changed that much for him, but we'll see. We'll see if it was life altering. I don't think psychedelics are a life altering thing. That's me personally. Never done them, but I don't see how they could be. Outside of that, because a new perspective is just, sometimes you need to experience, but I think a lot of times perspective you can just think about. Outside of that, it's a good documentary, really well done. It's cool to see a documentary in this kind of light where, you know, it is somebody went out and filmed this thing. Somebody went out and shot this thing instead of just pulling clips to make a documentary. Not saying that makes documentaries bad. I think there's a lot of great YouTube documentaries out there, but it is interesting to see a YouTube documentary done in this style, and I really enjoyed it. It was really good, really well done. I think it's totally worth checking out. Don't know what all misinformation is here, but regardless, really well done. 3.7 million views, totally deserved, totally earned. Mike, I did subscribe to him because I wanted to watch this documentary. I am going to try to keep an eye out on your career, see what you got coming out. So yeah, really interesting stuff, really well done. Yeah, I think we're about done. Boogie as a person, I think he could have a career comeback. I just don't know how likely it is just because of him. He needs to work on himself. He needs to get out of this victim mentality and out of this wanting people to feel pity for him mentality. You know what I mean? It'd be interesting. Like, I wish he would have spent more time with his friends and talk to them more.
Or offered us a room if he needs it. He's still going to make some of the same jokes. You know, we all have a sort of dry sense of humor.
Sincere kindness. It doesn't always show up, but he does have a lot of compassion for people.
Which I think is fine. Like, I never said he didn't like have compassion or anything, but like, I kind of wish they would have like asked his friends, like, what do you think of Boogie's downfall? Or like, what do you think about Boogie's like self-deprecation pity party? You know what I mean? Like, what do you think Boogie should do to fix that? And like, is it hard to be around somebody who is that self-deprecating? You know what I mean? That could have been an interesting angle. That feels a little bit missed. But yeah, outside of that, that's pretty much all I got to say about Boogie. Really great documentary, spawned a lot of talking points. I think this is the most I've talked about a movie after watching it. So a lot of talking points here. I'm going to leave. Thanks everybody for hanging out, and I will catch you later. Bye, everybody.